This video, we're going to be flying through the Warzone Season 5 patch notes. We're going to get through this very, very quickly, only covering the Warzone stuff as usual. So let's get straight into it. So the Battle Pass, obviously there's going to be changes there. But when it comes to map updates, we're going to be getting Superstore, which is basically from Verdansk, dropped into the Urzikstan map, which is obviously the big map in the game. So Superstore is basically one of the more popular parts of this map from Verdansk, and obviously that's getting added in now. Again, it looks like it's getting added into the bottom kind of left-hand side of the map, which is kind of cool because that's an empty area, but I don't really know how much it's going to tie us over until we actually get full Verdansk back into this game, if we are going to still get that, for that matter. At this rate, we don't really know when, plus obviously we've got Black Ops 6 coming out soon, so we won't really know. So, new modes, we've got Superstore Resurgence, which will obviously be Resurgence on just a small part of the map, which is going to be the Superstore part. Then we've got some general new updates. Obviously we've got the playlist updates here, but nothing too important here. We're going to be getting new Warzone rewards. So this Season 5 introduces new camos, all that good stuff. And that is pretty much it for this section. And then we're also going to get obviously the aftermarket parts as well for certain weapons. We're going to have new all map modes, redeploy drone beacon. So this is going to be a field upgrade. So this is going to be basically the redeploy balloon, so you can basically zip into the sky. Going to be pretty cool. I actually do like this mechanic in the game, so hopefully it is very, very useful now going forward. But like I said, I like this kind of mechanic anyway, so it's just going to add to more movement. We're going to be getting bounty contests, public events, which is basically going to be another public event, but we'll need to see how that plays out. We've got adjusted all maps, all modes, buy station inventory, so the redeploy balloon, it replaces the PRD. Inventory, limited stock of 2, cost 4,000, excludes Vondel. And then specialists have been added to buy stations for a limited stock of 1, and the cost of that is right there as well. All maps and Resurgence, we've got champions quest timers changing, redeploy weapons are refreshed as well, public events change as well. So we've got new weapons. So we've got the static HV, which is an SMG. Obviously we do need a new SMG in this game because the Superi is getting extremely boring now, let's be honest. It's been the best gun for pretty much the whole entire time. And now we're getting a new SMG. This might be the new meta, but we'll need to see. We're getting the STG added back in, so this is something that we had back in on Warzone 1, but now we're getting added it in on Warzone 3, which is what we're on just now. And hopefully it's still a really good gun. It was low recoil before, but we'll see how it plays out with this new introduction of the gun. We will be covering it later on today anyway. Then we've got the aftermarket parts, which are essentially new guns to some extent, obviously, but some of these have been absolutely trash, or pretty much all of these have been absolutely trash, so not really worth unlocking or using for that matter. And that is why the game's been pretty boring, to be fair, because all the same guns have been on the meta the whole entire time anyways. So we've got one for the more sniper rifle, and this is going to make it a barrage of small and lethal projectiles. I think it's going to be like a burst weapon with this. We've got one for the RPK LMG. This is a Modern Warfare 2 gun, so we'll need to see how this plays out. So this is going to give it a 50 cal conversion kit to make it more like a sniper or something. I don't know. We'll need to see. We've got one for the Jack Slash, which is for many weapons and with under barrel capabilities. So the vertical grip doubles as a combat knife. So that's pretty cool. We'll see how that plays out. And we've got one for the RAAL LMG as well, which is another Modern Warfare 2 gun. And it can be toggled between full auto and semi-auto fire. So it's going to make it a bit more of like a marksman style rifle. So again, we'll see how that plays out. So a couple of new weapons, a couple of aftermarket parts, and now a couple of weapon adjustments, which is going to be really important here. So lower torso modifier for MCW is increased. This brings up some of the TTKs. So it's going to make it a little bit better to use. So the MCW is a low recoil gun, remember, so could be a solid choice now going forward. Max damage range has been increased on the SVA. That's pretty cool, but the gun is low damage anyway, so it's kind of going to be pretty much useless still, in my opinion. SVA is quite a popular gun, but I just don't really personally think it's that good. I think people are just using it because it's low recoil, but the TTK and stuff is just horrendous on that gun, to be honest. I'm not going to lie to you. Battle 27, I actually do like this gun. It's a good sniper support, and actually if you want to run double SMGs on like Rebirth Island, for example, this is a great choice. You can use this instead of like an SMG, or you can use it with an SMG, and it's going to have a good close range TTK. Now the max damage range has been increased as well. Decreased horizontal recoil, so this is going to be even better. Decreased overall recoil magnitude, so this is going to be even better. So it's making it more of a long range gun, but it's not conned any movement stats on this gun yet, so that is still pretty useful, because it can still be a good sniper support. Mid-range damage range has been increased on the MTZ-556. This is a popular gun right now, so this can only help this gun. I don't think it's going to make a massive change to how this gun actually plays out, but still a good enough benefit if you're already using this gun anyway. Then we've got the M4. Minimum damage has been increased from 21 up from 17. That's quite a good buff, to be fair. Mid-near damage has been increased as well by 3 points. Max damage range, don't know if it's going to make it more. It's not going to be meta, let's be honest, still, because it's not even close to being meta, but we'll see. It could make it a good contender for that long range. Plus it's going to not have as much as that weird side-to-side bounce as the Modern Warfare 3 guns have, so it could actually be a solid choice still. Then we've got the Bass B. Max damage range increased. That's quite good actually, because it's a solid gun still. And TAQ-V leg modifier has been increased as well. Not a lot of people using the TAQ-V anyway. Moving on into the SMGs quickly, we've got the AMR-9, which is going to be getting a damage range increase. It's not going to change this gun too much, let's be honest. Then we've got the FJX Horus. We do have an increase to sprint to fire time here, and then damage ranges have been reduced across the board for this gun. Bit of an annoying nerf, especially when it comes to movement nerfs. I don't really like those. But it is one of the meta SMGs. The main meta SMGs is the FENNEC-45, and that has had an insane amount of movement nerfs again. Now this was one of the best movement SMGs in the game, and I think everyone's now going to be switching over to the Striker if you want a movement-based SMG. Obviously, it doesn't have the best TTKs, but the Saperi has like a good combination of all of this. But it's not massive movement nerfs, but it's still something that you'd probably notice in game. Leg modifiers have been decreased on WSP-9. The WSP-9 is a great long-range SMG option, but we wanted to ensure you need to be more accurate with your shots to hit the intended TTK. It's not the best SMG in the game, didn't really need a nerf, but okay. MINIBAK, minimum damage increased. This actually could be a good gun, by the way, because the MINIBAK was pretty solid for a while. So this damage buff by 5 points, but this is the minimum damage, so it's going to be the long range damage. The close range damage is not being changed here. But we do have the lower torso multiplier increased, and the arm and hand multiplier increase as well. Not a massive enough increase to probably change how this gun sits in the meta, to be honest, but it's a good buff. We've got PDSW, sorry, is the next gun. 3 minimum damage being increased on this one, and mid damage has been increased as well. Don't think this is going to change too much. Next up, we've got the VEL-46, which is quite a popular SMG right now, and we're going to get a lot of buffs here when it comes to damage. A lot of people are using this, maybe because it's low recoil. I don't even know why people are using this gun, but it is actually relatively popular when people were cutting about with it inside Warzone, so we'll need to see. Vaznev 9K, we have some buffs across this gun as well when it comes to damage, which is nice to see. I don't really see this changing too much of the meta again, to be perfectly honest with you, because the nerf to Saperi is not massive, and I do imagine the new SMG probably be meta anyway, so we'll need to see. LMGs, max damage range increased on the Bruin, already a solid gun, slight buff I suppose. Lower torso multiplier decreased on the Holger 26. Again, it did not need a nerf. It's not that powerful in the meta, to be honest. It is one of the better choices, but it's not amazing. Then we've got the Pumio. again, damage range increase and upper arm modifier increase. Again, it's not going to change too much in the meta, I don't think here. We've got the TAQ Eradicator being a damage buff on the minimum damage, that's close range damage. And again, it's not really going to make it meta. TAQ Revolver is a pretty solid gun. As groundly, it's actually really good, but at long range, it's actually not too bad. It has a lot less shake than some of the other guns, and that's what makes it pretty solid. And this leg modifier is just going to help this gun a little bit, but again, it's not going to change the meta. This is not non-meta groundbreaking updates here. It's just going to make the gun slightly better from what I can see until we get some actual testing done. Shotguns, that's the shotgun changes. I don't care about shotguns too much. Core 45, decrease the rate of fire. This is the one that we land in with, I think. So that snipe nerf on that gun. Sledgehammer got a nerf as well. So you can't swing it as fast. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.